Hey everybody, welcome here on my little planet. Let me take you a little bit into my little world, in which there's currently a mood of departure, because I'm again in the process of growing vegetables for the greenhouse. This year, for the first time, I'm using so-called soaking tablets to grow the plants. They're peat-free and a mixture of sowing soil and coconut soil, and I'm already quite curious whether and how the seeds will develop. Those of you who still love to look at the world with your childhood eyes from time to time will probably love the magic that these little slices of soil have in them, just like I do. Just look at how they transform and change shape as soon as they come into contact with water. I'm still as fascinated by this kind of thing as I was when I was 5 or 6 years old. That, by the way, is a circumstance for which I'm infinitely grateful. By that I also mean that I always feel a deep sense of joy inside me when I discover the beauty in the little things of my everyday life. Yes, these little slices here are definitely part of that as well. It's spring and nature is coming to life. And finally, the cat of the neighbors visits us again, after he probably preferred to lie at home by the warm stove for a long time. I'm always so happy when he graces us with his presence. There's so much to prepare at the moment. I'm making a liquid fertilizer for the houseplants by cutting banana peels into small pieces and leaving them in the water overnight. When I strain them in the morning, I have a great fertilizer that's full of minerals. It contains potassium, magnesium, but also nitrogen and sulfur. You can also dry the banana peel pieces, and if you have a garden, work them outside flat into the soil in the root zone around the plants. And it's time to take care of the sweet potatoes. If they've had long enough to grow a lot of roots in the water jar, they'll germinate on top, and then I'll remove the shoots with leaves when they are long enough from the sweet potato and put them back in water. This way I have a lot of new plants from one tuber right away. Of course, you can also put the whole tuber half in the soil if it has got the shoots. Here you see celery, which I have used almost completely and which I now put in water so that it can sprout again. When enough roots have formed, then I plant the celery with the tomatoes. They like each other and support each other's growth. And this is where I dry coffee grounds. I then use that as fertilizer as well. Then the tomatoes are happy about that, but also the zucchini and cucumbers. And the roses love it too. After a long time, I grow sprouts again. These will be rucola sprouts. And look, the first little plants are already sticking their necks out of the ground. For me, these are always small miracles, and I'm happy every time a new plant appears. At the moment, working in the garden means a lot to me. I've always loved it and can really get absorbed in it. But this year, all of this is even more meaningful to me. When I look around in this world at the moment, I probably feel the same as most people. Enough events show up for me that are inclined to associate me with feelings and thoughts of anxiety, fear, or even worry. I realize that this often challenges me quite a bit. But if I look closely, this is nothing really new for me. Perhaps I was better able to distance myself from such things in the past, simply because I tended to avoid these feelings and perceptions and distracted myself more often. Now I look very consciously, even when it doesn't feel good. I don't avoid myself now. I hold myself out. With everything that shows up in and around me. Recently, I noticed that something in me wondered how, in the midst of all that around me, around all of us, I can still have an eye for the beautiful, the inspiring, the pleasing to me. Am I allowed to do that at all? But it is there, all the beautiful, the living, at the same time with everything else. And to see it also, to be allowed to enjoy it, that I feel as a great grace. Meditation, artistic expression, and nature, all this has become more than ever before in my life a source that allows me again and again to feel myself as the one I am right now, always new, with everything that is there, with everything that then shows itself to me. And here, with these plants, the walks in the forest, the work in the garden or in the greenhouse, I feel my own aliveness so exceedingly clearly. Also, the vulnerability, my vulnerability, which my existence as a human life so brings with it. One of my favorite musicians, Sting, brings it to the point with a song line, "How fragile we are." And then when I dig in the earth here, smell it, see new growth again and again, then I feel connected to everything around me, and I also feel my own aliveness very clearly. And that also makes me grateful, because I've not always been able to feel that way in my life. Now, I wish you all the love from the bottom of my heart, and I would be happy if you stop by here again.